Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. The phrase everyone's talking about, and you might be wondering, what the hell is a Bitcoin? Today I put together this guide to explain to you the fundamentals of Bitcoin. You've heard about it off your friends, you've seen it on all the news and social media, and heard about how much money people are making, and you start thinking to yourself, am I missing out on this technology? Do I need to buy some Bitcoin? What's it all about? Now this guide isn't this, and it's definitely not this. What I'm going to do is talk about the pros and the cons, talk about the hype around Bitcoin, what a Bitcoin is, where you can buy Bitcoin, and then leave it to you and you can make up your own mind whether Bitcoin is the right investment to make. Before we begin, I want to state this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so I do suggest you do your own research before making any kind of commitment. So let's dive in. First off, what is a Bitcoin? Bitcoin was created under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody really knows who this is. They presume it was this group or individual that came together to create this digital currency. It was created in January 2009, right after the housing market crashed. It was created to use peer-to-peer technology, so it relied on no central banks or authorities to operate. Transactions and the issuing of Bitcoins is carried out completely by the users of the network. Bitcoin is designed to be open source, which means it's not controlled by anybody, nobody owns it, and everyone can take part. It's becoming more widely accepted as a currency, with companies like PayPal announcing they're rolling out plans to support it as a currency this year, allowing users to send and receive money in Bitcoin. Where can you buy Bitcoin online? Bitcoin is bought on a website and held in your digital wallet. Now there's websites like Binance and Coinbase and Gemini. Binance is a little bit difficult to understand for beginners, but Coinbase and Gemini are really simple options. I'll leave links to those down in the description box below. There's actually over 4,000 different types of cryptocurrency available. There's Litecoin, there's Tether, there's Ripple, there's Ethereum. But as a beginner, you only really need to worry about Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. So what are the pros of Bitcoin? Why should you buy Bitcoin? Why is it talked about as being such a great thing to buy? The first reason is because it's decentralized. So there's no government or authority that controls it. There's no individual that owns it. It's an open source opportunity. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means if things come up in the future, there's not going to be banks involved, there's going to be no governments controlling it. And it gives a lot more possibilities and a lot more speeds for new projects to come up. Speed of transactions is really quick and there's really low fees. So if you're sending currency from country to country, it's really cheap and effective compared to some of the traditional bank transfers. The other pro is it is limited. So every year it becomes harder and harder to create new Bitcoins. By the year 2140, it's predicted that the last Bitcoin will have been mined. But what does this mean? Well, if there's no more to be mined, then if people are still willing to buy Bitcoins, then it's going to increase the price because there's going to be a limited supply. And of course, the main pro of Bitcoin, which is what everybody talks about, nobody's really thinking about what the actual benefits of it as a system are. They're thinking, how much money can I make from this? Well, the main pro is that it could rocket in price, with people predicting it could go as high as 500,000, which introduces this term called FOMO, which is a fear of missing out. So most people are buying Bitcoin just because they're so scared to miss out if something goes on in the future. So if it does rocket in the future, then people are going to be Bitcoin millionaires, and the people who haven't bought it feel like they're going to be left in the dust. So one pro is that it could skyrocket in the future, but that's no guarantee. As for the cons of Bitcoin, like I mentioned, the price isn't guaranteed. So it's not guaranteed that it's going to rocket up tomorrow. Now, what determines the price of Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is determined by how many people are willing to pay for it. So if for some reason nobody wanted to pay for Bitcoin anymore, then the price would go down. So there is no real guarantee that the price is going to go up. It's highly probable that it will, but when and where, that's the question. Currently, there's a huge debate whether Bitcoin is a currency or it's a commodity. People are thinking it's more relatable to gold price, which is a hedge against current currency. The other thing, which is a huge con, in my opinion, is that Bitcoin is overly hyped. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about the Bitcoin hype. So Bitcoin is hyped like crazy. Everybody has their own opinion about which coin's going to skyrocket, which is going to be the next one to explode, which one you should buy, which one you shouldn't buy. When in actual fact, a lot of them are either guessing or they're reading information online on Reddit and things like that, and they're just thinking this is going to be amazing. No one's really basing it on this is the tech, this is where it's going to go, and that's what we need to do. It's kind of like looking at a chart, it's gone up this day, it's gone down this day, trying to find patterns in the chart, and they're basing all of the knowledge around that, and they're creating these crazy hype videos that are mostly for social media. In the past week, I've seen people freestyle rapping about coins. I've seen people jumping up down to hype themselves up. You know, the people are making videos, act like they're in some kind of emergency rush, like you have to see this information because if you don't see this information in the next 10 seconds, the coin's going to disappear and the price is going to go through the floor. You're going to miss out on this amazing opportunity because it's going to skyrocket, it's going to go, 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 and where are you going to be? You're going to miss out. No! Am I the only one that thinks that's a pile of or is it just me? Let me know what you think of these crazy gurus in the comments below. and tell me the craziest thing you've seen. It reminds me of penny stocks, when people would look at tiny little companies and think they were ready to explode. And they look at how much it's grown in the past few days, and they look at that and they think, wow, this is what it's going to do tomorrow. But actually, the past price and what it's done in the past is no real reflection on what it's going to do in the future. You could literally look at any penny stock and look at the highest performing every day and be like, wow, we missed out on this amazing opportunity. And people think because Bitcoin's rocketed in the past, it's going to do exactly the same thing now. So just be aware, there's so much hype. Don't believe these fake hype channels. If you want to buy it, you need to do your own research, realize what is this technology, how it works, what the whole thing is, and if it's a good, stable investment for the future. But the question you have to ask yourself is, should you buy Bitcoin? My personal view is I think Bitcoin is a great technology, and I think it's got some great fundamentals, and I think the purpose of it is great, and it's got a really cool vibe to it. I kind of really like the fact there's no government, there's no authority, and that it belongs to everybody. Now, the thing I don't like about Bitcoin is how hyped it is, and how much hype there is around all these different coins and all of these experts that have popped up who are telling you what to buy and recommending coins, and then you ask them how much they've got in their account and they haven't even got $100 in Bitcoin. So my feelings are probably like everybody else. It's a bit of a scary technology, and you have that fear that you don't want to miss out. So my personal view is once the hype's over, then I will look at buying some Bitcoin again, and I'll gradually buy it at a slow rate, and I'll probably invest 1 to 5% of my portfolio, which is what I'd recommend anybody to do. Don't put your eggs in one basket. If you're the majority of your investments, go for something that's safe and secure. Look at value investing, look at Warren Buffett and what he's done. He recommends that 95% of investors just get an S&P 500 tracker, make your 5 to 8% a year, and just be happy with that. Last year with my shares I made about 30%, which is not this crazy rocket ship Bitcoin promises, but it's good stable returns. If I keep putting that money in year on year and getting them returns, yes, I don't expect to make 30% a year, but if I get 5% a year, I'll be happy, and I'll add money in each year, and it'll build up to a great lump sum, and it'll be tax-free because it's in a tax-free savings account. If you want some real solid advice on investing, making money online, and how to invest it inside a tax-free account and grow your portfolio, then subscribe down below. And just remember guys, Bitcoin's great, and some of these little coins are also great. Stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum, maybe invest in some small little coins just to see what happens if you're interested in a gamble. Just take it all with a pinch of salt, and don't invest money that you're not afraid to lose. And most of all, don't believe the hype. See you next time.